Hello, my Sagittarius risings, Sagittarius ascendant people. Where are we gonna start? Because there's a lot going on here. There's a lot going on here. I guess we could start with the title because I did put when people underestimate you. We can address that really quick. But first of all, let's just talk about what the rising or the ascendant is. It is the first house of the chart, and it's how you appear to people. It's like your first impressions that you give on people. And a lot of times them first impressions get implanted. So people be like putting you in this box when you're really in that box, kind of, because we are more than just our rising sign, and how we appear may not always be who we actually are, depending on the rest of our signs. What is your sun sign? What is your moon sign? And those other close personal planets, Mars and Venus, are they Jupiter related to like really make the appearance match who you actually are on the inside? Right. So yeah, people do tend to underestimate you when you have this placement. And if you actually look at the rest of the charts, because we're in the first house right now, and look at the other planets in the other houses, we can see why that could be happening as well. Like the first house, typically, yeah, we got Sagittarius. Then in the second house, we have Capricorn, which is Saturn sitting in your house of self-esteem right there. So if there's a delay in it, or you're not really being boisterous, is that a word? If you're not, the person that needs to be in the front and center right there, like you're not being as loud as you could be because you don't even feel like that's necessary. And then what, we got Aquarius in the third house of Mercury. So people hearing you talking, you might even be ahead of your time. So they underestimating you because their brain haven't even caught up to the concept that you are even dishing right now. Like they ain't even catch this like 5 years later. Like, damn, Sagittarius was right. Because you could be ahead of your time. You could be like out of this world, with your thoughts. Okay. So it makes sense, even all the way down to the eighth house, which could be Cancer and Leo. So Leo is the sun. So you're in the house of Sagittarius, hiding yourself. Like you like to be behind the scenes. Like you're not, the sunniest part of you may not even be actually on display for people at that point. So, this is how people can start underestimating you a little bit. And then some. We're going to get into it more through our conversations, okay? But yeah, let's talk about the physical attributes of a Sagittarius rising. Do you have a big booty? Are you a big booty Judy? Okay. Okay, there are people, the Sagittarius, that's like a horse. So you can be like a stallion. Okay, you could be a brick house. Okay, you might have them thick thighs. Okay, you might have a booty. You just might be really really solid. And Sagittarius risings can also be tall, actually. And them stallions can be really cute. So a Sagittarius rising can actually be very pretty side profiles and stuff. Like you can be pretty. And we have the planet of Jupiter here, and that's how you can be tall, as a matter of fact. So that planet of Jupiter expands things. That's how you can have a big bottom. Okay, heavy bottom, pear shaped, all of yes, Sag risings. You can be that. But with Jupiter sitting here, you can be a lucky person. You can really be a lucky person. And isn't that nice to kind of have Jupiter there, just sitting in the top, just sprinkling down through your whole, like just starting your chart off that way? That's really nice. Like you can feel really lucky. Like you'll go through stuff, but you might feel like just in the nick of time, there's a way out. Like things fall into place for you. And that's nice. Life is hard enough. We have enough crosses to bear and challenges, So having Jupiter there is nice. Is nice because yes, that's very nice to have. You could be a very likable person. Like a Sagittarius could be the life of the party. Like we could throw a good party now. A Sagittarius rising, y'all could throw a good party. Okay. But because you are so likable, it's very possible that you could have jealous haters. Anytime, you're popular like that, you can draw attention whether you want to or not. It'll happen. When you're beautiful, when you are a stallion, you're going to attract attention. And that will also attract jealousy, haters. So just be very careful with that. The Sag risings, we don't, you guys don't like to sweat the small stuff. You're more big picture. So when people are just so laser focused on one tiny little detail, and you'll help people see the rest of the picture. I mean, whether they really want to or not, hopefully they want to. Because you would make a good preacher and you would make a good life coach and whatnot for the people who actually want your advice though. So, be careful because people may feel like you're preachy because that Sagittarius energy makes you come off as preachy, whether you actually are or not. It will make you come off that way. So don't be surprised about that. With Jupiter, you could be a very spiritual person too. You could. Yes. You could be a spiritual person as well. Sag risings, I know we don't like the negative energy. So we don't like negative Nancys and downer Davids or whatever you call them. We don't like that. So, sometimes they'd be like, we don't like no bad news. No, it's not that. We don't like negative people. We don't like don't be all negative. Please don't kill my vibe as a person. It will be a Sag rising. Don't kill my vibe. You can have a bad day, but don't be spilling it over here. It's one thing for you to have a bad day, and there's another thing for you to be spilling it over here. Sometimes you don't know how to sit your ass still, though. Them horses, they like to be galloping too much sometimes. Yes. So you can be a jack of all trades and a master of none if you don't know how to plant yourself. Now with Jupiter, you just might be good at a whole bunch of stuff anyway. You're going to get lucky. You may have a lot of gifts, but sometimes you need to learn how to stick things through, follow through, and finish something fully, completely, and don't just be bouncing around all the time a million times. Okay, your ability to move, it could be a gift and it could feel like a curse too. All right. Don't take your blessings for granted for sure. When you have Jupiter here, you got a lot of blessings. So you got to mind them and tend to them and make sure that you're not taking them for granted. All right. Because the things we take for granted, we can lose, even if we have Jupiter on the first house. Okay. Yes, chances are something else is going to come back around too, but we don't know how long that's going to take. And look, just don't even put yourself in that situation. All right. What else can we say? Oh, people might be thinking you naive. It's crazy. When you are Sag rise, people can completely get it wrong with you. Really, they can really, and they be playing themselves when they do this, when they be to their detriment, as far as if they're thinking the goodness of you or they're thinking you smart, but it's the opposite when they are thinking you're a donkey instead of a stallion. I'm not a donkey, I'm a stallion. How on earth I look like a stallion? You could look like it and everything, and people just want to think you a donkey sometimes. Maybe it's because of that Uranus in the third house of communication, or because you're so big picture with things and they think you don't see the small details. We see them, we just think that's petty. We think that's stupid. We think that's not worth our time in certain ways. And sometimes, yes, you do have to pay attention to the smaller details to get to the bigger ones. Absolutely. But people be underestimating Sagittarius all the time, them Sag risings. As a matter of fact, is Paris Hilton it kind of reminds me of that blonde that was actually a brunette that actually dyes her hair blonde and that be twiddling her hair, but she really be making all these business moves and really be like a boss babe. People be thinking she's dumb all along. She's laughing to the bank. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. People just, I don't know. They think because you're beautiful, you can't have beauty and brains, or, you just a body, you just a fat booty. It's something. It's something. It's the It's that innocent look in your eyes. It's your sincere, your generous energy, because you have Jupiter there. And be careful about being excessive too. Yes, with Sagittarius in that first house, you could be excessive. You may have to learn how to not overdo things. And then if you have other things going on, okay, that can make you even more excessive. Like you have any, like in numerology, you are a 3 or a 12, born on a 3 or a 12 or a 30th, or you have a 3 life path. Honey, you're going to have to learn how to balance it, because the more is not always the merrier. And, you'll get into the pleasures of things and be doing too much of something. Okay. So just watch with the Jupiter and expand and stuff. Okay. Too many 5-star dinners without working out is going to make you that stallion too much. Okay. So, yeah, people will, but you know what? People underestimating you can be your strength. It is one of the 48 laws of power. And I'm talking about Robert Greene book, came out who knows when, a long time ago. Yes, people actually underestimating you can actually be to your power, because they never see you coming, baby. They never see you coming, and you'll always be ahead of them because they won't even be prepared for nothing. So, and I'm even talking about just like some war strategy, just period. Like when you're playing chess while they think you're playing checkers. And then they find out they was the one playing checkers, and all along the Sagittarius rising was playing motherfucking chess. What? I love it. Because you're going to be a stallion in the Kentucky Derby, getting first place, baby. And you're going to be all right. So I hope that I know I kind of went here, I went there, I went every goddamn where, but I hope that, this is helping to begin to luxuriate in the beauty of a Sag rising, honey. Because if you experience this energy, it's a nice energy. All right. See you in the next upload.